How much money can you make going to college compared to going to the trades? Well, in the first 5 years, when you go to college, you're going to accrue debt, probably somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000. When you join the trades over that first 5 years, you're going to make about $300,000 and not owe anybody anything. Where would you rather start in your career? $100,000 in debt or $200,000 to $300,000 to the positive? Well, I'll take the positive every day.
Telling these young men and women out here that the only thing life has to offer for them is to learn a fucking trade. Not everybody wants to be a plumber, dealing with human shit all day, digging trenches in somebody's yard. Nobody wants to be HVAC, going underneath somebody's house. Nobody wants to deal with the construction mentality of being an electrician. Nobody wants to deal with all that shit. That's not all what's out there. I would never tell my son if he came to me and be like, hey, Dad, what's a good way I could go and make 6 figures? Go be a fucking plumber. No. We in 2025. Why are we still having to resort to these type of jobs? You can make 6 figures doing a bunch of fucking things that doesn't require your ass to be out in the Texas fucking heat, sweating your ass off, getting bit by bugs underneath people's houses. What the fuck?
Okay, so there's this big debate that everyone's discussing right now, especially with student loans as being extremely ridiculously high, and people are saying that going to college is a scam. And everyone is pushing people to start doing trade school, which has a lot of benefits in itself. But there's a lot of misinformation out there because people just need to understand that going to school, or just let's just take the school element out, learning and doing something you want to do by far is the biggest criteria of this all. Now, in the first video, the guy was saying $100,000 to $200,000 in debt, and you make $300,000 a year going to trade school. That's not guaranteed. None of that is guaranteed. First of all, there is an option to go to school either on the really cheap, going to 2 years community college, and then going to 2 years university, or going completely free if you have a scholarship. And especially if you go for a degree that is worth it. That is a degree that's going to pay you. Doctor, lawyer, engineer. This depends on, obviously, what degree you choose. That's the most important thing. But everyone is pushing trade school, which is by all means an excellent option. But that's if you want to do it, right? If you want to be a plumber, if you want to work in HVAC, then by all means, that's great. But it's not easy. Nothing is easy. Once you graduate college, or you go to trade school and you finish trade school, learning doesn't stop. And I think that's what everyone messes up. They just finish doing a certain thing and they think like that's it. They don't need to learn. There's still competition out there. There's still customers you got to deal with. There's still managers you got to deal with. There's still things you have to deal with. And especially if your expertise in certain areas, you need to elevate that. It's not simply just this school sucks, this is better, and this is why. No, man, we all have our own preference. What do you guys think? There's a lot more videos out here I'm going to show you that it's really entertaining and it's really interesting because this is a debate that everyone's having.
Four-year college graduates find themselves not employed or not working in the degree that they went to school for after the first year. Okay, so for 4 years and you're $100,000 in debt, compare that to 76% of people who went to trade school for 2 years found themselves working directly in the field they went to school for. And they went to school for 2 years and are only in about $12,000 worth of debt. So let's weigh that out here. College, your average 4-year degree, between $80,000 and $120,000 of debt, and there's a 52% chance that you're not even going to be working the job that you just spent 4 years on. Or you go to trade school, you spend $12,000 in debt, you stay there 2 years, and there's a 76% chance you're doing exactly what you went to school for. Just saying, the statistics are pretty easy to understand in my opinion. All I'm saying is don't let somebody push college on you if you know it's not what you want to do. Because 4 more years of English and science and math, when all you want to do is work with your hands and get in and out so you can make some real money and start a living, the numbers are there. Just look them up.
Whenever you graduate high school and people say, well, go to college if you want to be successful. Go to college so you can be in debt. College doesn't even guarantee you a good job anymore. Just go to trade school where you won't be in any debt and you will for sure have a good paying job.
Once again, right? This is a lot of people's opinions. And it's funny how they're trying to push this agenda on so many people in society. Like the guy was saying, how he was stating basically how, most people go to college, then they decide to like not the degree they went for, that's the job they're not doing. And then, okay, whatever. I understand what he's saying, right? But you have the flexibility and the option to get multiple jobs. That's the key here, right? You're 20 something years old. You don't really know what the hell you want to do. If you get a certain degree, for example, in accounting or finance, there's so many avenues, there's so many things you could be doing within that field. Because when it's all said and done, it is a business degree. And you do have the ability to do a lot of business type career jobs. But if you put in everything into just becoming, let's say, for example, an electrician, and you end up not liking it, you can't go ahead and just do something else unless you go back to school and you do something else, right? And he was saying that, you could do that for life. I mean, you might not like it, so you're stuck in doing something you don't want to do for life. This is the thing, guys. We all have choices. We all have choices and things that we want to do. We all could change our mind. That's okay. I do agree with the fact of everyone's pushing people to just go to college, but you shouldn't do that. You should dictate what kind of education you want, depending upon where you want to work at and what you want to do, what you want to do. You can't let other people push you to do certain things. And whatever you decide to do, remember, there's always a cheaper way to go to that, to get that education, right? To become a plumber, to become an HVAC. There's always a cheaper way to go to college. So don't be just so petrified of debt, because education is going to be a cost, period. And there's a reason why college is extremely expensive, because people want to go there and party and do all this dumb stuff and then do it smart and strategically. You could go for a lot cheaper than most people are having student loans. And some people do go to college and they do accumulate student loans and they pay it off. They have a big salary and they're enjoying life. Everything is not bad when you go to college, like it's completely worthless. It depends on the individual, right? It depends on you and what you want to do with your degree. Do you guys agree with me? Drop a comment down below and let me know. And what team are you on? Trade school or college? Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.